The Transport Training Education Authority has launched a 3-day summit that looks at opportunities that exist for women and young people in the transport value chain in South Africa. Executive Manager of Corporate Services at the Transport Education Training Authority, Kgatile Nkala, joins us now. Kgatile, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Transport is one of those legacy sectors of society and the economy that is rigid in its transformation. It's seldom that you see new players crack through various parts of the value chain and become disruptors in it. Young people and women have found it particularly difficult to break into the industry. What are some of the key takeaways from the 3-day summit around how opportunities can be brought for young people and women in particular?
Thank you for having us. You are right. Transport is still very difficult in terms of transformation. The transformation is very slow. And that is why in our strategy, we also target the youth. Because through the youth, you are able to create a pipeline that will help the industry to get new people in. And that would be gender, that would also be race, which are difficult areas of transformation. So we decided to go to Western Cape, and that's the last region really that we have planned over 2 years to come there and engage with the youth, bring partners, our partner EmpowaYouth, the youth division. So through EmpowaYouth, we've partnered with them to look at the critical areas that are problematic in terms of economic development in the Western Cape. So we brought people from the agricultural sector. We also brought people from transport, of course, especially maritime, because that's the focus area in Western Cape, using the shoreline. So that's examples of the areas that we looked at, that we brought through so that we can create opportunities for the young people there, over and above the fact that we've got learnerships that we promote, and we give funding to the learners so that they can at least gain the skills that are required by the transport sector, gain work exposure, and be able to be eligible to come through into the industry. So those are the strategies that we really employed over these 3 days in the Western Cape.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the insights that were extrapolated from the discussions that you had with the various stakeholders.
We partnered with people from the agriculture, and really agriculture, remember, it's food security. So we also encourage the youth to say that you do not really have to own a farm. And people were really sharing ideas of how, through food security, we can introduce our young people. But we also partnered through the other partners in maritime, because maritime is not a popular, or maybe let's say an industry that is well known. And there are skills there that people know little about. So we brought through even the authority for safety to come and share how they got there. You know, when people share their stories of how they got to know about skills in maritime, and we got young people who are entrepreneurs who came and shared how they got to hear about the entrepreneurial parts, opportunities that in the maritime, so that people can see that it is possible. So those are the areas that through those partners, ideas were shared. And remember, the focal point was
let's double click in on some of those.
Interested.
Let's double click in on some of those ideas. Are there any ideas that you heard from any of the discussants that excited you? Do you mind sharing one of those with us?
Yeah, certainly. We got 2 young guys, let me say gentlemen, who came and said, one was from KwaZulu-Natal, one was from Philippines, and they never knew anything about maritime. And then they said they read about it, and the other thing is they never knew how to swim, which is very critical for maritime. And they were sharing with young people, and they said they spent time around the shoreline talking to the older people, because there's also an aging problem in maritime. Older people who own boats and yachts, and they had ideas, found out from them that there are entrepreneurial examples, like of washing the yacht, but keeping it clean. And so today they own businesses in washing many of the yachts that are in Cape Town shoreline. So that's something that they also said to them when talking to the young people, something that they never thought they'll be able to do. But today they're running that type of business, and it's doing very well.
Yeah. Kgatile, thank you so much for your time and your insights this evening. Really do appreciate it. Kgatile Nkala is the Executive Manager in Corporate Services at the Transport Education Training Authority.